Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tally.
And this is Murders and Minivans.
So, long story short, we recorded this yesterday, this exact same episode, but the sound was off. Sound might be off on this one.
We'll find out together.
Stephanie has said that she's going to mimic the same reactions.
I'll do my best.
But if she's not shocked for this one, you know why.
I think I'll still be shocked because I'll still be mad.
Yes.
That I don't know the end of the story.
Exactly. And see, if everything was perfect, you would have found out today.
Yeah, but poor Stephanie and producer Brian couldn't figure out the sound.
Okay, so yes, this one will be 2 parts, but I'll get into it.
Excellent.
So, to understand Alex Murdaugh, you have to understand where he comes from. Not just his family, but the actual legal and political structure that they built and operated for 86 years. The 14th Judicial Circuit of South Carolina covers 5 counties: Allendale, Colton, Hampton, Beaufort, and Jasper. This is the Lowcountry. The coastal, it's the best I could do. Coastal plain region of the states. So it was marshes, cypress swamps, and hunting estates. Which now that we've talked about it, you know what a hunting estate is.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And small towns where everybody's family goes back generations and everybody knows whose grandfather was whose.
There's like a tiny bit of Crane Lake lore because there's a hunting like lodge out there, but it's with barbed wire. Yeah, tall. Oh, what's the fence?
Like jail wire.
Yeah.
Why?
Zombies and end times.
Wait, stop it. Are you being
I'm
dead serious?
I'm being dead serious. Out at Crane Lake, where we have my in-laws have the lake property.
Yeah.
There is like a side-by-side quad trail out, and somebody does have a cabin out there. And there's like the big chain link.
And the reason is zombies?
It used to be end times. But then I think they've sold it, and now it's like they use it as a quadding cabin kind of thing. But they had like huge tubs of like Superstore pickles stashed because of biblical end times.
And this is all you know about this story. You're like teasing me with
Pretty
this.
much. You can ask Neil. Neil would know the story better.
Yeah, that's true.
It might be the same delivery. Be like, oh yeah, this house.
We'll give him.
They call it Zombie Apocalypse Walk. Like is the trail. So
what goes on in there?
Nutty stuff. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So when you guys come up in the summer, we can take you on Zombie Apocalypse Walk, and you can come see it.
Okay.
At least we caught it.
Yeah, I mean that is a crazy lore about Crane Lake, though. Like now, I'm gonna not stop thinking about that.
That's why when we were watching stupid Walking Dead, like every once in a while, I'm like,
should we do this?
Are the doors locked? Let's just go make sure real quick.
So in 1920, Randolph Murdaugh Sr. was elected circuit solicitor of that district. The circuit solicitor is the chief prosecutor, so the person who decides what gets charged, what gets dropped, and what gets pursued and what doesn't get pursued. Randolph Sr. held that office until 1940 when he died after his car was struck by a freight train at a grade crossing near Varnville. So he was 52.
Yeah, that's fishy.
Yeah.
How does a vehicle get caught on a railway? Especially back then.
Yeah, it says struck by a freight train. So I don't know if did it stop? Did something stop him on the freight train?
Did his car shut down?
Specifically on the freight train?
Was he dropped there unconscious and was hit then by a freight train? It just seems fishy.
I think that's probably it.
I think so.
So he was 52, like I said, and the circumstances were never fully explained. And there was rumors of suicide, alcohol, whatnot. His son filed a lawsuit against the railroad, and the railroad settled. His son, Randolph Buster Murdaugh Jr., stepped directly into the solicitor's seat. He would hold it for 46 years, from 1940 to 1986. He only ran opposed twice, and he was known for his flamboyant courtroom behavior, chewing tobacco, and acting out crime scenes for juries.
I love everything about this.
Yeah. He was rebuked multiple times by the state Supreme Court for improper closing arguments and death penalty cases.
So bad.
It's so bad.
Like inappropriate for a death sentence. Like the guy's already in there. Like that's funny. It's so horrible. It's funny.
I agree. You have to laugh.
Yeah.
In 1956, he was federally indicted for allegedly tipping off a bootlegger to move a moonshine still before federal agents could raid it, but he was acquitted. And then he retired in 1986 and then died in 1998. It's weird because I thought that, and I meant to mention this yesterday, but I thought that the bootlegging era was not like, I didn't know that it ended that late.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because when we read that like bootlegging book for book club.
Yeah, it was that far in the past.
Somebody like the oldest member in the group kind of talked about bootlegging out here. And I was like, how would you know? Were you alive then? Because in my head, it's like the 1930s or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why everybody was depressed.
Seems the deep past.
Yes.
That doesn't feel as recent.
It's very recent.
Yeah, it is quite recent, actually.
But apparently there's tunnels around here. I'm sure there's tunnels everywhere, honestly.
Maybe.
But
around here would be interesting.
Yeah.
Like, we're not close to really anything huge.
You'll have to ask her. So Buster's son, Randolph Murdaugh III, took over the solicitor's office in 1986, and then he held it until he retired in 2006.
Wow.
He ran unopposed in every single election. In 2019, the governor of South Carolina gave him the Order of the Palmetto, the state's highest civilian honor. When Randolph III finally left in 2006, Murdaugh had been the chief prosecutor of the 14th Circuit continuously for 86 years. So 3 generations. Every criminal case in those 5 counties for most of the 20th century was prosecuted at the discretion of the family. Local attorneys openly described the district as legally rigged. And the American Tort Reform Association named the 14th Circuit the worst judicial hellhole for defendants in the country.
Oof.
Yeah, not good. Now, the law firm, separate from the solicitor's office, so the Murdaugh family ran a personal injury law firm, and it went through several name changes until it eventually became Peters, Murdaugh, Parker, Eltsroth, and Dietrich, PMPED. The firm's particular specialty was suing railroads.
That's always funny.
I know. Primarily CSX transportation. There was a South Carolina venue law that allowed plaintiffs to file suit in any county where an out-of-state company did business, regardless of where the accident happened.
Ooh, that's messy.
PMPED exploited this aggressively, routing cases to Hampton County where they had the home field advantage. The firm's offices in Hampton were locally known as the house that CSX built. And by the time Alex joined in the 90s, the firm was very profitable. So let's get into Alex. So Richard Alexander Murdaugh, called Alex, and some people also in the documentary call him Alec. So I don't know.
Oh, I see, like an Alexander?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then Alec, it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how to, but names are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So he was born May 27th, 1968, a Gemini.
Interesting.
And he was the 3rd son of Randolph III, though the first to follow in the full family trajectory. He graduated from the University of South Carolina in 1990 and from USC's School of Law in 1994. Wow. He joined PMPED and he volunteered part-time in the solicitor's office, where he knew prosecutors, judges, law enforcement officers very closely. His surname opened up doors that didn't even need to be knocked on. Mm-hmm. Alexander married Margaret Kennedy Branstetter, who everybody called Maggie. She was born September 15th, 1968. She was well-liked, socially active, and very, very involved in her kids' lives. Friends consistently described her as the warmth and the stability in that family. So they had 2 sons, Richard Alexander Murdaugh Jr., called Buster, born April 11th, 1996, an Aries, and Paul Terry Murdaugh, born in 1999. And again, I can't find his birthday.
Interesting.
I'm sure I could if I looked a little bit harder.
Well.
But I was like, it's just my thing. I need to know everybody's sign.
Fair.
The family had a primary home in Islandtown. I said this yesterday just fine. Allerton, Colton County. They had a beach house on Edisto Island, and they had the Moselle Estate, which was 1,770 acres on the Salkehatchie River, with a main house, dog kennels, a cabin, and stretches of swampland. Also, something I forgot to mention is it had an airplane landing strip.
Oh, in case they want to, bypass society.
I don't know. I think they had planes, small little rinky planes like that people fly out here. I don't think that it's like
Yeah,
a private
nothing
jet or
major, but
anything.
or a helicopter maybe. I remember you
Yeah.
saying yesterday, because we were talking about the dog kennels,
Yeah.
because I thought it was so weird. In my head, it's like a walkout basement, and that's where the dog kennels are.
No.
Yeah, and you were saying it's a whole different structure.
Yeah, it's like a horse barn almost, like an outdoor horse barn, and there's like it honestly just looks like a horse barn, but for dogs.
These are things that also aren't very far in the past that I didn't think really existed.
Yeah.
Dog kennels for hunting dogs, like on the side of the estate.
Yes. Yeah, hunters take their dogs like very, very seriously.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That one's a new one to me. I'm like, oh, rich things that I didn't know rich people had. Like, I just did not fathom.
Yeah, I know. I think so because people in Brian's family hunt a lot, and they have like specific types of hunting dogs, and they're just so cute and sweet.
Yeah.
And then they like when they go out to hunt, they're just amazing at like retrieving birds or pointing to stuff. I don't really know what
Yeah,
hunting
they kind
dogs
of
do.
like show you where the animal falls if they shoot a bird.
So it was primarily used as a hunting property. Alex drove a large Chevy Suburban. He was a big man physically, over 6 feet tall, and he was broad. And he had
Charisma. That's the word.
He was the kind of person who remembered your name and knew your family and made you feel like you were the most important person in the room. And he was, by his own eventual admission, an opioid addict and a thief for most of his adult professional life.
I like how you say that last, because it takes such a turn really quickly. So personal, high as fuck all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like opioids too. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, it's not even a light one.
Yeah, I mean, what is there like light to be addicted to? Right? Like
Mild
all of the
weed.
I don't know, can you be addicted to it?
It's a drug, kind of. I don't know anymore.
I don't think so. I don't think it's addictive at all.
Addicted to feeling good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm addicted to sugar.
Okay.
Like I love sugar. You know, like a sugar left. I think there's like one time where I tried to like, and I'm not comparing myself to a drug addict by any means. Nobody get mad at me.
Yeah, that's not the point of the story. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I remember I tried to cut it out a few times, and I would do like the sugar cleanses or whatever, where I would just not have any sugar. Like I'd have fruit and stuff, but no actual added sugar. And I would get shakes.
Aw.
Like I like couldn't sleep at night, and I felt horrible. So you know what? It's okay.
You don't need to cut out sugar.
No.
That's fair.
So Alex's addiction to opioids, specifically oxycodone and OxyContin, started after a knee injury from college football that required surgery. So he began with legit prescriptions, and it escalated. And I think this is a very common story. By the time the whole story came out, his attorney said that he had been an addict for over 20 years.
Holy moly.
His drug source was Curtis Eddie Smith, a distant cousin and a former client of Alex's, and he was roughly 9 years older than Alex. Smith was also, investigators would later establish, a drug dealer. So Alex was buying 30 milligram instant-release oxycodone pills from Smith on the black market. In the months leading up to the murders of Maggie and Paul, Alex admitted under oath at trial that he was taking between 30 and 60 oxycodone pills per day.
Holy, I thought you made a mistake the first time, honestly.
No.
Like, there's no way. How do you take 30 of anything in a day?
I don't know.
30 mini eggs.
Easy. Easy. Come on, I can have 30 for breakfast.
30 of something else.
Yeah.
It's a very big handful.
Yeah.
30, I don't know. Anything else. 30 cookies. That's an excessive amount
That's
of
true.
cookies.
I couldn't even do that.
Yeah. But 30 of anything in general is a lot.
Yes.
So these pills, that's insanity. Like, how would your body even metabolize it? But that's an addict, right? He's so used to it. He's such a threshold now
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
after years of use.
Yeah. Yeah, it perplexes me.
Mm-hmm.
A forensic toxicologist who appeared on court TV noted that this would cost somewhere between $40,000 and $60,000 per week at black market prices.
That's
Which
an income. That's crazy.
Yeah, because it was about $25 per 20 milligram pill. Insane. And I'm like, how does this work? Like, how does drug dealing work?
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you. I can tell you how other things work, but like how, especially with pills, like oxycodone. So like, is there a pharmacist that is getting an oversupply from somewhere. Like it would have to stem from a pharmacist, wouldn't it?
Or people have extra.
I don't know.
People are hired to like go in and get a prescription or something. I don't.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be a bunch of sources.
Yeah. People used to like buy ADHD pills in like high school and like I think college and stuff. Yeah.
Why? What's it do?
Helps you focus if you don't have ADHD. Like it helps you like hone in and focus. Not the stuff that I take.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps me focus a little bit, but it's not like, I think, what's the other one called? Adderall.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard of that.
It's like legal speed, really,
Oh.
for people who don't have it. Yeah.
I didn't really know what the side effects would be.
Yeah.
I just remember when I was teaching, like my first real example of it, teaching elementary school, was this little boy, and he was sitting, and I'm like, I just wanted to talk to him. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I just can't stay still. I'm just a busy guy. Like it was just so,
Aww.
yeah, he was just so sad. His body exhausted him. Like,
Oh my God.
Yeah, he just needed something to help.
Yeah.
Because they were young at the time. I was teaching grade 1. So it's a different level of attention. Like they're still little. They want to play. So you try not to have them sitting for too long. You try to do lots of stuff. Yeah. But when he can't even
like sit still
a few minutes, it's because his body is exhausted. And
that was
tired by lunchtime.
Yeah, that was P's first sign of ADHD.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But easy.
It is easy
and to identify and to treat.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And it's like for us, luckily it was a breeze to like, it wasn't a breeze to figure out everything. Mm-hmm. Not saying that it was a breeze, but just it went easier than I thought.
Yeah. And you got it pretty early too. So
yeah.
Now you know for life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Alex would take his first pill of the day as soon as he woke up to avoid withdrawal. And he said that the pills made him feel like he had more energy and they helped him function, or what he called functioning. Mm-hmm. He told the jury that he went to detox 3 times over the years. Critically, the people closest to him did not fully know the extent of his addiction. Just 1 month before the murders of Maggie and Paul texted his dad directly after Maggie had found a bag of pills in Alex's computer bag. Paul left his dad a voicemail. Alex told them both that he would stop after the current lawsuit was resolved, referring to the Mallory Beach civil case. Okay. Maggie and Paul thought that they were dealing with a problem that was being managed, but they had no idea that their husband and father was running a multi-million-dollar fraud operation to fund it.
Holy moly.
So how the fraud worked. Alex Murdaugh stole money from his clients and his own law firm for at least 16 years. The federal government documented criminal conduct going back to 2005, and some investigators believe that it started much earlier. He ultimately pled guilty to 22 federal financial crimes in September of 2023, and he was sentenced to 40 years in federal prison in April 2024.
Holy, so very recent then.
Mm-hmm. The documented total was approximately $12 million. Alex's own lawyers initially said that the number could be much higher. Mm-hmm. One attorney that was representing the victims put the potential total at up to $20 million. Jesus, when accounting for all possible victims, estimated to number between 30 and 50 people. The clients he stole from were not wealthy people. They were personal injury clients and people who had been catastrophically injured in accidents or families who had lost somebody. And people would come to the law firm because it was so well established and people knew the Murdaugh name very well.
It's a few generations.
Yeah, exactly. So to understand what he was doing, you need to understand how personal injury settlements work. When a client wins or settles a case, the money flows through the attorney. The attorney takes their cut and then disburses the rest. The client trusts that the number on the disbursement sheet is accurate, but they have no way to verify it. And most of them don't even know how to read a disbursement sheet. Most of them are still recovering from whatever catastrophic thing brought them to a lawyer's office in the first place. Alex understood that better than anybody.
See, and I don't know that that's what I thought worked. I thought maybe like the courts had a special like bank account for transfers and then he dispersed it. Like, I don't know if I ever thought it was the lawyer, but I have no reason to.
It is. It's because it's similar to like when you buy a house.
Yeah.
And then like when you sold your old house, it would have come into the lawyer's account. They would have paid the mortgage off.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is right. They would have paid the mortgage off on the old mortgage. The lawyer any other, like if there was liens or whatever else,
Okay.
they would have paid that off.
Yeah, I guess I just don't think about it. It's one of those people that you just trust blindly, like dentists that you just have.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you go get your oil changed.
Yeah.
On a much milder thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love when they showed me the filter. I'm like,
what do you want me to do with that? I know. Or they showed me the levels. I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to fill it.
cool.
Is it something else?
Yeah.
Am I looking for something else?
But anyways, so the first scheme was the Lafitte. I'm butchering this last name, but the Lafitte bank fraud. Alex had a close personal relationship with Russell Lafitte, the CEO of Palmetto State Bank in Hampton. Lafitte, I'm just going to call him Russell, was not just a banker. He also served as a personal representative or conservator for several of Alex's most seriously injured clients.
Wow. Okay.
What that means legally is Russell was court appointed to manage money on behalf of people who could not manage it themselves. So accident victims with traumatic brain injuries, people that were incapacitated by their wounds, or people who in some cases could not speak or advocate for themselves in any way. Mm-hmm. Alex directed his firm's staff to make settlement checks payable to Palmetto State Bank with the client's name in the memo line. The checks then went to Russell. Russell then distributed the money for Alex's personal benefit, paying off personal loans that he had, covering expenses, and providing cash withdrawals.
That's a certain kind of dirtbag.
Oh, insane. How do you even broach the subject with a friend?
I don't know.
Hey.
They must do bad shit together already.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have to have a questionable, certain level of dark in your relationship already to even think that's okay to ask someone.
Insane. I couldn't imagine. And if you had asked me that, I'd be like, I would think it's a joke.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You shave off money here. No,
yeah.
I agree with you.
So that scheme ran from approximately 2011 to 2021. Russell was eventually convicted on 6 federal charges and sentenced to 7 years in federal prison. He has maintained that he was manipulated by Alex.
That's why he only got 7 years.
Yeah.
Because they must trust him to some extent.
I don't know.
What do you say? Especially that you stay friends. It's not like he'd offer to kill anybody.
No.
He wouldn't threaten your family because you're still friends, clearly.
You would think that the court would give you more leeway if you were like, you know what? Yeah, I fucked up.
Yeah.
I listened to this person. I got manipulated or whatever, but still, I take ownership for my part in this. Yeah. To me,
I knew what the risks were.
As a court person, if I was a judge.
A fan?
A judge. If I was a judge, I would take that more seriously. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on the kind of mood I am in, which is why I will never be a judge.
Which is why you're Jan.
I'm going to throw a book at you.
It's true.
Depends on the day.
If you catch me in my luteal phase, I'd be like, get wrecked. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just, I don't even like your face. Just turn right back around. Walk back out that door.
Jail for you for life. Ma'am, he just stole a car. I don't care. Life.
Fuck that guy.
Literally.
What a day. What a day.
One of the clients funneled through the scheme was Hakeem Pinkney. Hakeem was a deaf black man who had been left on permanent life support after a 2009 traffic accident. PMPED represented his family. And in 2011, he died at his care facility after his ventilator was, according to his family's attorney, mysteriously unplugged.
Oh, I don't like that.
PMPED then handled the wrongful death suit stemming from that death. Alex directed Russell to manage Hakeem's settlement funds, and those funds were diverted for Alex's personal use.
God, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible, horrible, horrible.
Hakeem's family came to the Murdaughs for help. They came twice, once after he was paralyzed and once after he died. So, did you unplug it?
I kind of think so. Mysteriously got unplugged.
There's a lot of mysterious deaths.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. It is fishy. It feels very much like a control, accidental death syndrome kind of thing. Awful, though.
That reminded me of a case to cover. From at least 2005 to 2021, Alex systematically skimmed client settlements. He drafted disbursement sheets that sent money to his own accounts without client approval or disclosure. He claimed false attorney's fees, and he created fraudulent expense line items on client files, like fake medical costs, construction costs, airline charges, all fake.
Asshole.
He collected fees on annuities that did not exist, and he intercepted insurance proceeds that were meant for beneficiaries. Then there was a fake Forge account. So in September of 2015, Alex created a bank account in the name Forge. He presented it internally as a legit insurance settlement structuring company called Forge Consulting. It was not legit. It was a bank account with just his name on it, and he was the sole authorized signer. From roughly 2017 through at least July 2021, he funneled stolen settlements through that account. When a settlement came in, clients would be told that the money needed to go through Forge for structuring purposes. It went into Alex's personal fund. He spent it on whatever he wanted, but it took forensic accountants years to fully piece together all of this. The real Forge Consulting is an actual company whose name he had stolen. They actually sued Alex and Bank of America, alleging that Bank of America failed to perform basic due diligence that would have caught the impersonation before it even got started.
Ooh, okay.
Yikes.
Yeah, good for them, though, because they didn't have to do that.
Yeah, no kidding. Gloria Satterfield. So this is a sad one. Gloria had worked as the Murdaugh family housekeeper for 25 years. She had been in that house since the boys were small, and she helped to raise them. People who knew the family well said that she was woven into the fabric of their daily lives in a way that went beyond employment. She was a constant. She was very trusted, and she trusted them back. On February 16th, 2018, Gloria fell at the Murdaugh home. Her sons were told that she tripped on the stairs after the family's dogs caused her to stumble. Oh. She was airlifted to a hospital with a traumatic brain injury. She never regained the ability to communicate with her family, and she died 10 days later on February 26, 2018, and she was 57.
That's horrible. So she's pretty young, too.
Yeah.
Did she fall down marble stairs? Sounds like an over-the-railing thing.
In the documentary, they had a B-roll of cement stairs, so I don't know if that's what it was, but they said in the home.
Yeah.
So it's hard to piece together, but yeah, it's really sad.
Ugh, that's very sad.
Yeah. And I mentioned this yesterday, but Gloria was essentially Paul's mom. Yeah. Because Maggie allegedly was not a very warm mother to Paul specifically, but she was to Buster.
Sad.
And so he felt, again, this is just conjecture, emotionally neglected. And I think Gloria was kind of that for him. Oh, this is very sad. Her death was not reported to the coroner's office, and there was no autopsy that was performed. Her death certificate listed the manner of death as natural causes, which Hampton County Coroner Angela Topper later noted publicly as directly inconsistent with injuries sustained in a fall. Yeah. So natural causes, again, means that your body just stops working on its own. It does not mean that you fall down a flight of stairs.
No. So naturally fall downstairs. That's stupid.
And a competent coroner's office would have flagged that. SLED eventually opened up a criminal investigation into Gloria's death, and her body was exhumed. The death certificate was amended. There's no criminal charges that were ever filed specifically related to how she died. But what happened next is very documented. Alex told Gloria's sons, Michael Satterfield and Brian Harriet, that they would help them file a wrongful death lawsuit against himself. So he walked them to his college roommate, which was another attorney, to handle the case on their behalf. He assured that they were in good hands, and the settlements reached approximately $4.3 million. Wow. So part of that $4.3 million was a $500,000 claim through Lloyd's of London and additional amounts from other insurers. Holy. None of this required court approval, and none of this was disclosed to her sons. But they never saw a dollar. Oh. Alex pocketed the entire amount. Michael Satterfield and Brian Harriet did not learn that the settlements had even occurred until investigative reporters broke the story in 2021, 3 years after their mom died.
Did they ever get some money?
No. Maybe later on when everything was kind of dispersed.
Once they found out about it and maybe came forward.
I'll have to see if it's in my notes for the next episode.
I hope so.
The man who handled their mother's estate stole the wrongful death settlement while her sons were grieving. It's just insane.
Well, it's kind of fishy.
Yeah, and this is the woman who helped you raise your sons.
Yeah.
Jealousy. I don't know. Well, I don't think that he was home when this happened, because the 911 call that's played on the documentary, It sounds like it's Paul and Maggie.
So you
I
think
don't know.
Maggie pushed her?
I don't know.
Maybe. Fit of rage.
Yeah. I don't know. I would love to know. Like, I would love to be a fly on the wall. Because, like, especially the sons. Like, the sons deserve closure.
Yeah.
So, other documented victims include a family from Mexico whose settlement from an accident was stolen and never paid. The family of a man who became a quadriplegic. Clients whose funds were diverted repeatedly over the years through the fake Forge account. An attorney, Justin Bamberg, who represented 8 victims, estimated that the total number of people Alex stole from could reach as high as 50. Now, Morgan. So, Morgan Doughty was Paul's girlfriend. She talked a lot about her relationship with Paul in the documentary, and it's very relevant, I think, to understanding who Paul was by the time that he was 19. So, a little bit about Morgan is she moved to South Carolina from Long Island, New York with her parents when she started high school. She attended Thomas Hayward Academy in Ridgeland, and that's where she met Paul. So they started dating in their junior year in 2015 when she was 16. Morgan described Paul in interviews, primarily in the documentary, as somebody who, when he was sober, was very, very sweet. He loved to hunt and fish. He made her laugh. But when Paul drank, she said that he became a completely different person. And like I said, his friend group had a nickname for him when he was drunk called Timmy, which we had a lovely discussion about that.
Yeah, because I thought young kids, well, not young kids. I thought teens these days knew what South Park was, and you assured me they don't.
I don't think so. I think like only our generation.
Where's the line? Is it Simpsons? That's like the same
I
old.
don't even know. I have no idea.
Like, have they watched Family Guy? Like, what's the line here? Is it Bob's Burgers? That's still on.
I love all of those shows.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe that no, they don't. Because I watch all these shows.
That's probably fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, what an odd name to pick. Sorry, that was my point.
Well, he just became so unrecognizable from his sober self that he might as well have just been somebody else. Morgan said that drinking was extremely normal in the Murdaugh household from the beginning. She said, quote, "Whenever I came around the Murdaughs, it was very normal for them to be drinking and have a lot of alcohol always stocked in the house," unquote. She described Alex and Maggie providing alcohol to minors on a regular basis when their kids and their friends were at the property. She provided 25 videos to investigators as part of an affidavit in the civil case showing underage kids drinking in front of adult Murdaugh family members. So, the abuse. Morgan was very direct about this in her documentary interview. She said that Paul was physically and verbally abusive towards her on multiple occasions, and that it always happened when he was drunk.
Yikes.
The incident she described in most detail happened at a hotel where the group was staying to celebrate Buster Murdaugh's graduation. Paul had been drinking heavily. Once they were in bed for the night, he started to kick her. She told him to stop. He got on top of her. She said, "I just remember him screaming, 'I told you to shut up,' holding down my throat, and then he punched me really hard in the knee." She broke down crying when she recounted it. That incident, Paul holding her by the throat and punching her, happened in 2017, but no criminal charges were filed. Gloria.
Report it. Always report it.
Always. Gloria, the family housekeeper, was still alive at that point. Morgan said that Gloria warned her about Paul before she died. Gloria told her, "You know how he is, and you're just either going to have to learn how to deal with his temper, or you need to get out."
I don't like that. Always get out is my vote.
Yes.
Because spending a few years in the social work field, people don't change.
Yeah.
They just don't. Like, at their core, I bet you the stats are like 0.5% of abusers coming clean. Because we even know stories of people who, like, they did the therapy thing, they got remarried to someone after someone else, and they revert back, especially when the trigger was drinking.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I think you have to remove the trigger completely.
Yeah.
Which it's hard to do in society.
It is hard. And do you always put the onus on someone else? Well, my partner or my friend was drinking, so that made me have to drink. Like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
To put your responsibilities on other people.
No, I agree. And I think, like, maybe what Gloria was implying, like, unless you think that you can deal with this for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Get out. Save yourself. Yeah.
The 2017 Christmas truck crash. Morgan also described an incident at Christmas 2017, which shows exactly how the Murdaugh family handled Paul's behavior when it created legal exposure. They had been to a Christmas party, and Paul was, of course, drunk. Morgan was trying to get him home. He insisted on driving despite her attempts to stop him. He lost control of his truck and crashed into a ditch. Beer cans and guns went flying, and Paul had, Morgan said, so many guns in his car. When she tried to call 911, Paul grabbed her phone and hung up.
Holy.
He then called his grandpa, Randolph Murdaugh III, the retired circuit solicitor, and told him exactly where they were. Randolph, Alex, and Maggie all showed up. Before they even checked on the two of them, Morgan said they opened the bed of the truck and cleared it of guns. They swept the floor of the truck and collected the beer cans. They then turned to Morgan and told her that she shouldn't have tried to call 911 because she could have gotten their son in trouble.
No, he deserves to be in trouble then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
That's how you learn.
Yep, that's how you learn.
That is the family's crisis. That's okay.
Play footsies with you.
Sorry. That is the family's crisis response mechanism laid bare. Not, is everybody okay? Not, oh, we need to report this. It's to sanitize the scene. Mm-hmm. The second was to tell the witness that she was wrong for trying to involve the police. So this was 2017, 2 years before Paul and Mallory Beach died Paul killed Mallory Beach in a drunk boating crash.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Yeah. Well, you did know.
I know,
but you don't remember it.
Oh. So never mind. Just keep going with the story.
Sorry. It was operating the same way. Paul does something dangerous while drunk. Somebody tries to call for help. Paul stops it and calls the family, and the family shows up and makes it go away. Morgan described the dynamic plainly herself. Murdaughs don't really get told no much. Yeah. After Mallory died, Morgan was on the boat the night of the crash. She was injured. She was a witness, and she testified in a 2020 deposition in the wrongful death suit that Paul could be verbally and physically abusive when drinking. In January of 2022, she filed a creditor's claim against the estates of both Paul and Maggie for $10 million and separately sought damages for permanent scarring from the boat crash. She was included in the joint settlement that compensated Mallory's family and other survivors in June 2023. And then she did break up with Paul after Mallory's death.
Goodness.
Mm-hmm. Morgan's account matters here because it tells us about Paul individually, and it tells us about the environment that he grew up in. Mm-hmm. A family where his drinking and violence were observed, accommodated, and when necessary, just covered up. Where the instinct every time was to protect the family from consequences rather than address the behavior. That pattern and that reflex runs directly from the 2017 truck crash to the boat crash that we're going to get to now. So, like I said, Paul was born in 1999, so he was the younger of two boys. By 2019, he was 19. He was enrolled at the University of South Carolina, and he had a girlfriend named Morgan. He had a close friend group that had grown up together in that area. I did a bad job describing this last time, so I'll do a better job this time. Okay. On the evening of February 23rd, 2019, Paul and 5 friends planned a night out. The group was Morgan, who was Paul's girlfriend, Mallory Beach, and her boyfriend, Anthony Cook. Anthony's cousin, Connor Cook, and Connor's girlfriend, Miley. Does that all make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone has a partner.
Yes. They gathered at the Murdaugh's family river property on the Chicheezy. Chicheezy. I'm so sorry. Chazzy. It's a river.
I trust you.
Called Murdaugh Island by locals. I should have just went with that.
There you go.
Earlier that afternoon, surveillance cameras at a Parker's Kitchen convenience store in Ridgeland, South Carolina, captured Paul using his older brother Buster's driver's license to buy alcohol. He was underage, and after the purchase, the footage shows Paul appearing to celebrate, loading the cooler onto the boat. The group left the boat around 7 p.m., and they spent several hours at an oyster roast on Paw Key Island. Around midnight, Paul says, "I'm going to drive the boat to a bar in downtown Beaufort." There's no alcohol served at the oyster roast, according to the host, but Paul had the loaded cooler. At the bar, Paul and Connor took shots. GPS records from the boat's device showed that they docked around 12:45 a.m. By the time they got back on the boat, Paul was, again, severely intoxicated, and other passengers asked him to please let somebody else drive.
Yeah, I don't understand this. There's one of him, and then so many of them to just overpower him. And
He was very violent.
yeah, but there's lots of them. There's 2 guys and 3 girls. Like,
They did get into a fight, and then
good.
then they
Knock
would
him
try
over
to
the
get
water.
Yeah. Hindsight.
Yeah, I don't mean drown him.
Yeah.
Like before you're taking off,
Yeah.
if he's being an asshole about driving,
Yeah.
give him a dunk in the water. That'll cool him down.
Yeah.
I can spend the night sleeping on the beach. He's a rich boy. Someone would come get him.
Yeah, but I think like they were so afraid of him too, like because he had so much power, and again they were so little.
Yeah, I
They're
just
19.
It makes me angry.
I know. Yes. So at approximately 2:17 a.m. And according to witness accounts, he actually shoved and spat on and slapped Morgan before the crash. So like everybody was trying to stop him, and he just kept like, I think, and again, like I mentioned yesterday, they tried to stop him basically until the moment of that crash.
I think the spitting is what really gets to me.
Yeah, that's like so disrespectful. I mean, all of it is.
It's awful. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the slapping, but for some reason the spitting just makes me want to go crazy.
Oh yeah, I would go fucking bananas.
What a little bitch that he
Yeah.
would spit on his girlfriend. Like,
Yep.
bad human.
At approximately 2:17 a.m. on February 24th, 2019, the boat struck a piling under the Archers Creek Bridge near Paris Island, and the impact threw everybody on board.
That's crazy. They would have been going so fast to fly from
Yeah.
the boat.
Oh yeah. Several passengers were injured and required surgery. Mallory was thrown from the boat into the dark tidal water, and she could not be found.
Oh, it's horrible.
Now, Mallory grew up in Hampton, South Carolina, the same small town that the Murdaughs had dominated for generations, and she was 19. She was known by the people who loved her as warm and funny, and the kind of person who made a room feel different when she walked in. She had grown up alongside this friend group, and Anthony, like I mentioned, was her boyfriend. She had been sitting in his lap when the boat hit the bridge. Anthony refused to leave the scene. He stayed on that bank through the night. When Paul walked up from the direction of the boat, Anthony tried to rush at him. The first responder on the scene intervened.
Oh, I would have let him get a few swings in.
Yeah. So, whoops, didn't see you there.
Oh, hold on, my shoe.
Yeah. Beaufort County Sheriff's Deputy Stephen Domino, who arrived shortly after, said Anthony grew extremely agitated when he saw Paul. Domino said that Anthony told him that he saw Paul smiling.
You a fuckhead.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really a word, but that's how I feel about him.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy.
Search teams worked throughout the night, but Mallory was not found. Her body was recovered a week later on March 3rd, 2019 by another boater approximately 5 miles away at the Broad River boat landing.
No, that's because she was starting to decompose, so she'd fill with oxygen and float up to the surface.
Yeah, well, she'd been in the water for 7 days. And it was determined that she died of drowning and blunt force trauma. So the injury and then the drowning.
Yeah, knocked her out. Sad.
She was 19. She did nothing wrong that night. She got on a boat with her friend and her boyfriend, and she just didn't come home. Anthony Cook gave interviews years later, and he talked about what it was like to be sitting there on the bank in the dark, calling her name, knowing that she was in the water somewhere and not being able to find her.
That's so sad.
He talked about what it was like to watch Paul walk away from that scene without handcuffs, and he talked about what it was like to know that the family's name was the reason.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Murdaugh was not given a field sobriety test at the scene that night. He was not booked into jail. His blood was drawn hours later at a hospital where it came back at a blood alcohol content of 0.24, 3 times the legal limit.
Yes, hours later, and still
Yeah.
that high.
Insane.
That's crazy.
Some accounts put the number even higher. A nurse at the hospital later stated that both Paul and Alex Murdaugh had come into the emergency room and attempted to speak to the other passengers privately,
I hate that.
and that it appeared that the family was trying to get the other kids to say that Connor Cook, not Paul, had been driving the boat. Connor was never charged.
Good.
His injuries were not consistent with being a passenger. Another interesting thing to note is like when all of the parents started to arrive at the hospital, like he started to talk to them and saying like, we need to come up with a plan. I could be your lawyer, yada, yada, yada. Like started trying to protect his son immediately. And, sorry, my contact, there's something wrong with it. And then one of the parents was like, well, like have you heard anything about Mallory? And then he's like, who?
The one person that's missing, you asshole.
Yeah, it doesn't give a shit.
No.
And then, he said, allegedly, I'm pretty sure we know how that's going to work out.
Oh.
Just fucking
Yeah,
callous.
but it's sad. Like, have some sympathy.
Yeah, and like, just don't say that.
You monster.
Yeah. So Paul was eventually charged on April 18th, 2019 with 3 felony counts: boating under the influence causing death, 2 counts of serious injury, and he pled not guilty. And he was released on bond.
Yuck.
Mallory...
Learn his lesson at all.
No. Mallory Beach's family did sue. The lawsuit named Paul, Alex, Maggie, and Buster. Buster for allegedly loaning his underage brother his ID to buy alcohol. The convenience store chain Parker's Kitchen was also named and ultimately settled for $15 million with Mallory's family alone, plus additional amounts to the 4 survivors.
That's nice that they included that in there.
Yeah.
To the other survivors.
Yeah. Well, because they're all like, even if you just, I mean, they all had injuries, but even if you just got like dunked into the water, that's very traumatic. You guys are all close friends.
Yes.
And everybody in that boat was very impacted. And you're so young.
Yeah.
To have something like that traumatic happen, it makes me very sad.
Yeah, it is very sad. I agree with you.
The criminal case against Paul never went to trial. In June 2021, Paul and Maggie were shot and killed at the family's Colton County hunting property. Paul was 22. So, the civil lawsuit arising from Mallory's death was the trigger for everything here that followed. The attorney representing the Beach family, Mark Tinsley, was pursuing full financial disclosure from Alex Murdaugh. Mark wanted to see Alex's actual finances. Alex had told Mark that he might be able to scrape together $1 million, and his lawyers said that he was broke. Mark did not believe it. He filed a motion to compel full financial disclosure: bank accounts, assets, income, everything. The hearing on that motion to compel was scheduled for June 10th, 2021. Full financial disclosure would have shown the fake Forge account. It would have shown the diverted client settlements, and it would have shown 16 years of fraud.
Oof.
But the murders of Maggie and Paul happened on June 7th, 3 days before that hearing. Randolph Murdaugh III, Alex's dad, who was dying of cancer, died on June 10th, the same day that the hearing had been scheduled.
Holy, that's scary.
So let's go to June 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Moselle is off of Moselle Road in Islandton, Colton County. The main property is in a low-lying area surrounded by trees and water. Mm-hmm. And to reach the dog kennels from the main house, you walk or drive a short distance down a dirt path. The kennels are a structure with individual runs, and attached to them is a small feed room, a tight enclosed space. On June 7th, 2021, Alex Murdaugh called Maggie sometime in the evening and asked her to drive from their Edisto beach house to Moselle. His stated reason was that they should go together to visit his dad, Randolph III, who was dying.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
Before she drove to Moselle, Maggie texted her friend saying that Alex sounded fishy and that he was up to something, but she drove to Moselle anyways. She found Paul there. Paul was at the kennels, which was normal. He loved the dogs, and he was worried about one of the dogs that belonged to a friend, a chocolate lab named Cash, whose tail had been injured.
Aww.
So this is time heavy here, and like detail heavy. So we'll just get into it. 7:56 p.m. Paul sent a Snapchat video of his dad to a friend. Paul was laughing in the background. At approximately 8:30 p.m., Paul's phone started to move towards the dog kennels, and he was calling and texting friends, sending Snapchats until around 8:40 p.m. when he got on a 4-minute phone call with his friend Rogan Gibson about Cash the dog. Rogan told investigators that the call was about whether Cash's tail was okay.
Mm-hmm.
When the call ended with Rogan, Paul was at the kennels. He was worried enough about Cash the dog that he wanted to show Rogan directly, but the cell connection in the rural area was too weak for FaceTime, so Paul was just going to send a video. Mm-hmm. At 8:44 p.m., Paul recorded a video on his phone. He was trying to get Cash to show his tail. He kept trying to corral the dog. In the background of that video, you hear 3 voices: Paul's, Maggie's, and a third male voice calling one of the other dogs. "Come here, Bubba." Bubba was one of the Murdaugh family dogs. Prosecutors at trial established that Bubba was Alex's dog, and multiple witnesses who knew Alex identified the third voice in that video as Alex. At 8:44 p.m., Alex Murdaugh was at the kennels with Maggie and Paul. Paul read his last text at 8:48:59 p.m. from a female friend asking what movie she should go watch. A text received 36 seconds later at 8:49:35 p.m. was never opened.
Oh, wow.
Maggie's phone showed that she read her last message 28 seconds after that. Both phones went dark within a window of roughly 1 minute around 8:49 p.m. And that's when they believe that Maggie and Paul were murdered.
Ugh.
Alex called 911 at 10:06 p.m. His GPS and phone data showed that he had driven to his mom's house in between.
Fuck that guy.
When first responders arrived, they found Paul's body face down in the doorway to the feed room at the end of the kennel run.
Oh, so he's trying to run.
He had been shot twice at close range with a shotgun, once in the torso and once in the head at point-blank range. Biological matter was on the walls on the ground, and Maggie was found several yards away outside the kennel area, and she had been shot 4 to 5 times with a .300 blackout rifle, including a shot to the wrist that was consistent with a defensive wound, and multiple shots to the head. Her time of death was estimated between 9 and 9:30.
Gosh.
Alex told investigators that night that he had been at the main house after dinner, took a nap, didn't see Maggie and Paul before he left to visit his mom, came home and found them dead, and called 911.
Okay. Why would you even go out there if they're away from the house?
I
You
agree.
just happen to wander over there? Liar.
And that's where we're ending it.
Ugh.
And so
I forgot how you ended it.
I know,
Like,
sorry.
I knew, but I thought there would be a little bit more.
Well, in part 2,
I'm
we'll
mad.
discuss the investigation, one more murder that is involved with the Murdaughs, including how investigators got into Paul's
Is Alex
locked phone.
dying? Hey, blink once.
How the video was recovered, and what the timeline evidence showed. The full trial, the prosecution's case piece by piece, Alex being on the stand for 2 days, the defense's physical evidence arguments, and the verdict, and then the development that happened this week, which is going to be 2 weeks ahead here.
Yeah.
And somebody who just ruined the conviction
Oh.
because she was a dumb idiot.
Oh. Bad lawyer?
Nope. You'll see
I'll see.
next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
But yeah, that's it. And as I'm talking about it too, I'm like, well, what did you think was going to happen? Like, even if they didn't suspect that you were the one who killed them, do you think that they're not going to look into your financial records?
Yeah.
Like, your wife and your son are dead.
Mm.
Even if you have a strong alibi, they're going to look into why somebody would want your wife and son dead.
Why did they? You're the worst. If
To
there's
be
ever
continued.
a doubt that she doesn't tell me these things ahead of time, and you know what, I'm gonna forget about it after I walk out here, so it's not like I'm googling it, because also that would annoy her.
Yeah.
It's so yeah, it would, yeah.
I made an Instagram reel about it, and on our shared Instagram account
that I don't look at.
that she doesn't look at.
I hope there's never like a personal message on there, because I'll never see it.
That would be funny.
You have ghosts.
A
Tiny, cute
child has
ghosts.
woken up. Yep.
Anyway, we could probably wrap it up.
Well,
then.
yeah. Sorry for ruining your day.
Bye.